Hi, welcome to the Back to Basics Weight Loss Surgery channel. My name is Dana and I'm your new Saturday vlogger. My channel name is Ms DanaGerous. I'm so excited to be part of the group, and I'm going to kick it off by doing a little bit of a cooking video for you. I recently attended a support group, a local support group, where we had a chef come in and talk about more plant-based eating. And I know the rules of weight loss surgery is protein first, but we also need to incorporate vegetables and plants into our life. So we actually had some terrific demonstrations and tasting, and I wanted to share one recipe with you for a raw cauliflower tabbouleh, which I thought was really delicious when I had it at the support group, and thought I'd try it at home. I will apologize in advance. This is kind of a long video, and I will try to do better and not make them this long, but I hope you enjoy. Try the recipe. If you're like me, I'm looking for new vegetables. I'm not bored with my protein yet, but I'm really bored with my vegetables and sides, and my fallback is mashed potatoes and pasta, and I don't want to do that stuff anymore, so I'm looking for new stuff. Hope you enjoy. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, so today we're going to make raw cauliflower tabbouleh. It's a great recipe I can take no credit for. Got it from Chef Heather Mattel, who is the chef at Banner Gateway Hospital in Chandler, Arizona, which is where I have my surgery and my support groups. This was a really great tasting, very fresh, and it is a boundary pusher for me because it's asking me to cook with some things that I've never cooked with before. So tabbouleh is typically done with bulgur wheat, so it's a starchy carb, and what we're basically going to do is we're going to use cauliflower and process it in a way that it kind of mocks up this texture, this fine texture that you get from the bulgur. So here's what you're going to need. Juice of 1 or 2 lemons and some lemon zest, and I'll go through that process in a little bit. Cauliflower, so about 2 pounds of cauliflower. This is a really big head. It's about 3 and almost 1/4 pounds, so I'm not going to use this whole head. I'm going to work at what she says is about 6.5 cups of florets. And I'll show you how that works. A cucumber, and today I'm going to use an English cucumber because that's what I have. A large tomato, and the tomatoes weren't very large, so I've got 2 tomatoes. Okay, and here go some things I've never cooked with before. Italian flat leaf parsley. I grew up in West Texas, and my mom's mom died when she was like 12, and she just learned to do plain cooking, and they were also poor, and from West Texas and Oklahoma peoples. So parsley was something that you had when you, growing up for me, that the curly parsley that you just put on a plate, and you never really used it. I've started cooking with a little more parsley, but I've never used this. This is the flat leaf parsley. And then 2 herbs that I've not really used before, mint. And mint, we used to actually have mint growing in my yard, and I will chew on a mint leaf, but we're going to use a little bit of chopped mint, and we're going to use some dill, and I've never cooked with dill. Well, I think I've used a little bit of dried dill and something or other, but I've never done cooked fresh dill. You can get herbs many places these days, and so I think it's, as we're trying to learn new ways of eating, some ways to step out is, I think, using different herbs and spices that we've never used before. These were $1.99 each at my Safeway. There's probably cheaper places that you can get it, but anyway. And then some extra virgin olive oil, and this is, you can use any kind that you like, but this came from Napa Valley, so it makes me smile. It's almost gone. Had a girlfriend trip in August, and we got some great extra virgin olive oil when we were there. And then a little bit of sea salt it calls for, and I don't even have that in my house. I use Morton light salt in my house because my husband has high blood pressure, and he has used this even before I met him 20 years ago, so it's his preferred salt. So that's it as far as the ingredients. There's a little bit of prep, and I'll show you that as I go along. Okay, so the first step, we're going to start with the lemons, and it wants the zest for one lemon. This is something else that I never knew about till I was grown up. My mother had never zested a lemon. I didn't know what to do with it. There are some little tools that you can use to go along the outside of the lemon and get the zest off. I don't have one of those, so what I use is a plain old-fashioned box grater, and on the finest grate, you're going to just use that to create the orange zest. Now, when you zest, you want to not get into the pithy, the white part, so you're basically just taking the outside layer of the lemon off, and a little bit goes a long way. Probably someday I should invest in a regular lemon zester, but I don't do this very often, and I guess it's a good arm workout. And what you're going to see is that deep inside there, see that tiny, tiny little fine stuff? That's the zest. So I'm going to keep working on this lemon until, you know, most of the shiny is gone and I'm down to the white. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to juice this lemon, and if needed, go to the second level. I need about 1/3 of a cup total of lemon juice. Okay, so now I'm doing the cauliflower. So what I did is I washed the cauliflower. Mine was already getting a few little brown spots in it, so you can kind of just trim that off. That's because of oxidation, and my cauliflower was only a couple days old at home, but I guess it had been in the store. So there's a few places it was brown. So trim that off, get rid of it. I cut it, kind of cored it, and cut it into bigger chunks. And now I'm just kind of finished breaking it up, and I'm putting it in. If you have a food processor, use your food processor. If you don't have a food processor, which I don't, I'm going to use my Ninja blender. This says, and I'm going to need about 6 cups of florets. This says this is the mark to 5 cups, but I'm really only going to count this as about probably 3 cups because the blades and everything in there. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to process this until it becomes a real kind of a fine chop. You're going to want to do this on a pulse setting. You're going to want to do this on a pulse setting because if you don't want it to get to mush. This down, and we'll see what happens. And a little more. There's some still big chunks in there. She did say that if you need to scrape it down with a spatula, then you can do that. So let me show you this texture. It is real crumbly, kind of fine, almost like a little bigger than a rice, but close to a rice. So I'm going to do, this is probably half of what I'm going to do, and I'll do the other one and come back with you and show you the next step for the cauliflower. So I have processed all my tabbouleh now. This is probably the cauliflower. This is probably the strangest step. You're going to see that what I have is basically a clean kitchen towel, and I've dumped all of the cauliflower onto this towel. It looks like just a big pile of rice or something almost right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this in the towel, and basically you're trying to get the moisture out. So I'm kind of going to spread this in like a long, skinny stage. Let's see. I'm going to kind of roll it up. And I'm just squeezing to get the moisture out. I know when I've done like mashed cauliflower and things like that, you know, I usually steam it and then you do some stuff to get rid of it. I haven't tried the cauliflower pizza crust, but when you steam it and then you mash it, you try to get some of the moisture out of it. So this is kind of the same thing, except we're just doing it with the raw cauliflower. And I'm just going to maybe even let it sit here and drain for a little bit on this towel, and I'll squeeze it out again when I get the herbs chopped. You're going to probably ask, how dry should it be? I don't know. Just the major moisture. It's not real runny. I mean, it's not real juicy, but there's a little bit you can feel, and I think probably just maybe even sitting here on this towel for a little bit while I chop the herbs will be good. We're on to the cucumber. Remember, the recipe calls for a large cucumber. What I had is an English cucumber. The recipe says to basically seed it, and probably for a regular cucumber, it's even more important to seed it. The English cucumbers have really small seeds in them. So basically, I peeled this cucumber because the peeling didn't look so great, and so I went ahead and peeled it. You know, I know you're cutting off some of the nutrition when you do that. And then I cut it lengthwise in quarters, and now I'm just kind of taking the seed off the top. Because if I were using a regular cucumber, I know when Chef did this, you know, she had bigger pockets of seeds, etc. So basically, this is just taking some of the places that would do extra moisture out, and it, you know, we're ready to do the tomato. Now, she said to seed the tomato, because she said the seeds are bitter, and I'll be confess to you, I've never seeded a tomato. I had to look up how to seed a tomato. So basically, stem side up, and then you cut it in half like you're cutting the earth at its axis. And then basically you want to supposedly gently squeeze and or take a knife or a scooper. You can find out anything on the internet, I guess. And we're just cutting out these little seed pockets. And then I'm going to chop this tomato to about a 1/4 inch dice. So it'll be matched, basically, the cucumber. So I'm chopping herbs. You can make fun of me if you'd like about how I chop. I am really a crappy chopper. Told you this was a stretch for me. I'm already done my mint, so we only needs a tablespoon of mint really finely chopped. So, you know, you kind of take I'm assuming I did what I needed to do. I took the mint out of the package and I washed it, a couple of stems, and then I took the leaves off of the stem, and then I just finely chopped the leaves and got a tablespoon. For the dill is, you know, very kind of fly away like this. I need a 1/2 cup of dill, and you know, some of the stems are woody, yucky, like that. They're not really woody, but they're big. I'm assuming you don't use that part. But I am using some of the smaller stems. So we'll see. It's a new adventure in cooking. And finally chopping it, the dill, you know, the little leaves are very fine, and so small little pieces. And I'm going to almost have a 1/2 cup here in a second. Okay, so parsley. I've never used this parsley. As I said, I have used cilantro, which is a lot like that. So it comes in a bundle. Basically what I did is I just broke off a bunch, so I left these stems back. I washed it, and I'm going to chop enough to get 3/4 of a cup. And ooh, I pulled out the big knife. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. But I'm going to basically chop 3/4 of a cup of flat leaf parsley. So we're ready to assemble. Here is the cauliflower that has been, you know, pulsed in the blender or the food processor until it's almost like a big grainy rice consistency. I've got the 1/3 cup of lemon juice. And actually, I'm seeing there's a couple seeds there now. 1/3 cup of lemon juice. plus my lemon zest. My cucumber, tomato, the herbs, the parsley, the dill, the mint, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, oh, that's the last of my Napa olive oil. Well, there you go. I'll have to just go back to Napa Valley with the girl. And a little bit of salt. Again, this calls for sea salt, but we don't use that in my house. We just use Morton white salt. Sea salt would probably be better. Mix it all up. And this, you can chill and serve it chilled, or you can serve it room temperature. She did say it would probably be better the second day because the flavor would have a little chance to malt. Look how pretty it is. And this is going to get served to my sweetie, my sweet father-in-law, with a steak and some sweet potato, baked sweet potatoes for Valentine's dinner. I will come back and do a taste test in a bit. So here it is, the raw cauliflower tabbouleh. It's only been sitting about 5 minutes, so I put the rest in the fridge to chill, and I'll serve it chilled later. This is a 1/4 cup. I calculated, I put everything in MyFitnessPal, and I calculated calories, etc. on a 1/2 cup serving, because I think that's more what the guys are going to eat. And a 1/2 cup serving is 40.75, so basically 41 calories. 4.4, less than 4.5 grams of carbs, 2.5 grams of fat, 1.42 grams of protein, 1.83 grams of sugar, 20 milligrams of sodium. So very low cal, because it's really all vegetables with a little bit of olive oil. It's very fresh tasting. It's lemony, but you got the dill, etc. It will definitely taste better once it kind of gels together, I think. So, as I said, this on this plate's a 1/4 cup serving, because in my little VSG pouch, I wouldn't be able to fit a 1/2 cup in any protein. But a 1/4 cup with a couple ounces of protein, I could probably fit. So, you know, my idea here was to find some healthy side, new kind of vegetable that I could serve with grilled chicken or grilled meat or grilled fish. Actually, this would probably be good if you just chopped up like some canned salmon or maybe tuna or chicken, and just mixed it in, and so it would be like a whole little salad mixed together. I think that would be good, and something really different. This will be light and refreshing for the summer. I'll be really curious to see what my husband and my father-in-law have to say about it. But in the meantime, I hope you try it. It's not protein, you know, negligible source of protein, but after the protein, we need to also eat some healthy veggies, and this definitely gets us some stuff. The cauliflower has agents in it that are designed to help fight cancer or prevent cancer, and you know, a lot of good stuff in here. So I hope you try it, and let me know what you think. If you mix it up, change it up, I'd be curious to hear about that also. And in the meantime, here's discovering new tastes, new adventures in food. I never pretended to be a chef, guys. This is, you know, learning as we go. Talk to you later. Bye. Forgot to mention, here's the downside behind this salad. These little cauliflower grains get all over the place. And the towel that I had squeezed, out, I literally had to take it outside and shake it to get all of the cauliflower nuggets on there. So, I'll be probably finding little cauliflower sprinkles around the kitchen for a little while. That's the one downside, but other than that, I like it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.